Ashtavakragita, chapter 2, verse 23. O, in me, the limitless ocean. The movement in the mind has produced the many worlds like the wind produces diverse waves on the ocean. The sage is saying, I am this limitless ocean, and he is resembling the mind to the wind and the waves of the ocean to this world. He is saying our mind is a kind of a wind that is producing waves which appears like the happening in this world, while consciousness is a peaceful ocean. Mind is the wind. The mind is creating the play on this consciousness. It's very important we understand what the sage is saying in this verse and apply in our day-to-day lives. If we observe carefully, we are never separate from consciousness. The waves are never separate from the ocean. It's just the wind which is creating the waves, meaning the mind which is creating the happenings in the world is responsible for the illusion that I am away from consciousness or I am away from God. If we are never away from the consciousness or if we are never away from the God, then why is there suffering? Why is there pain? If we are with God all the time, then how come we are falling into this trap of mind? How is it possible? Let's see this. This is very important. In actuality, there is no separation. Consciousness is pure, complete, and unlimited. And I am consciousness. The sage says the consciousness is pure and unlimited because there is nothing that it needs from this limited world. It's that silence that we feel within us where nothing is needed. But our ego, our mind, our conditioning, and all the things that we have accumulated so far will fight with us to bring us into the illusions of this world because this bliss is a threat to the ego which is unaware. But our original nature is not to get caught in this world. Our original nature is bliss. Then what do we do? How can we be in our original nature? How can we help ourselves to know this trap, to get out of this trap, and to not get caught in this trap? Let's see what the sage is saying. When the sage said, the mind is the one who is producing all the appearances of this world, he meant not just the visuals of the world, but also the desires, emotions, and the assumptions which appear to us. The sage is asking us to inquire. He is asking us to question, to whom does this appear? Whatever is appearing, to whom is it appearing? It's for our mind. It's for our ego. Right? When we took birth, there was nothing in the mind. Now it has created a web of illusions by seeing, sensing, imagining, etc. There are many examples which is related to the mind and the illusions that the mind is created in the previous verses. In case you would like to listen to them, I have added the playlist link of all the verses in the description. Okay. From this understanding, it's important for us to ask this question regularly in our daily lives. For who? Let's give it a try. When there is a desire for something, let's check for whom this desire is. Will this really help me in quenching my true desire? If not, why am I doing this? Our mind will always keep us in imagination and assumptions that is created because of our conditioning. Let's see them. Let's face them. It will fight with us. It will resist us. But that's okay. We are ready to face anything and everything to be with the God. For who? This is the question worth asking ourselves. When the sage is saying, I am limitless ocean, he is saying this when he is one with the consciousness. It doesn't mean that when we are with this awareness, we don't have to work or we don't have to do anything. How would our life be? No. It just means that we are breathing, we are working, we are observing, talking, etc. from this source of consciousness. This is living life in bliss. So, is the world from consciousness? The answer is both yes and no. It's yes because what we see appears from consciousness. It's the projection from the consciousness itself, but whatever is being projected is not for consciousness. It's for the ego. The world is from consciousness, but not for consciousness. And why is the consciousness the source of this world? And why the ego is not the source? Let's understand this. Do we have any identity of this ego? No. Do we have any identity of the mind? It needs a body to get itself identified with, right? It's a false identification. It's not true. So if it's not true, then whatever is being seen from the ego is also not true. So this world is for the mind, it's for the ego. But the source of all of this is the consciousness. Because if there is no consciousness, nothing appears. And the sage is helping us to see this truth. That's the only reason why the sage keeps saying not to get caught with these worldly things. If we would have found this joy in this world by desiring for the things for the shiny things that appears in this world, then the sage would have told, go ahead with it. But the sage wants us to see the true happiness, the true bliss. He is not against anything in this world, or spirituality is not against anything in this world, but the purpose of spirituality is to show us that real happiness, that real bliss, that real joy. So, when there is a thought, why did consciousness or God create this world? Was there a need for this to happen? Again, check who created this pain, who created this suffering, and check for whom is this world for. The waves are emerging out of the ocean, but the ocean did not create the waves. It's the wind which is creating the waves. Mind has created these waves. The world is being created by the mind, by the ego, which is the false identity. So, are the waves from the ocean? Again, the answer is yes and no. Yes, when we are seeing from the point of ego, and no, when we are one with the consciousness. Because when we are one with the consciousness, there is just bliss, there is no separation, there is no like, dislike, it's just one. Always see who is asking the question, and there lies the answer. The ego actually will be truly happy and content to see this truth. Ego is tired of looking outside for all the things to fulfill its desire. The actual desire and bliss is in fading away of our ego. But the step to bring this awareness closer is to be driven by us. The sage is helping in all the ways possible for us to get closer to this path of truth. It's just that one true step that is needed from our end.